Hey guys, how's it
How
going
by
out there? Hope you guys
roadside
are doing
cooking.
well. So today we're going to be talking about Sabrina Carpenter because she's found herself in a bit of a kind of controversy because of her upcoming uh, album cover called "Man's Best Friend" is the title of it, and people are very upset because of how over sexualized it is, or I guess how it's a mix of degrading to women and hypersexual and over sexualizing women, and a lot of people are not happy about that. There was actually I was reading a few articles about this, and I wish I could find it again, but there was a person that responded. I think it was like on X or something like that, where they were saying that this cover photo like set women back like 5 decades, and there was another comment on one of these articles of someone responding to the cover saying and especially in our current climate of women's rights and control of women's bodies being kind of in turmoil, that like this is not a good look. And to me that's kind of interesting. Because I've read a few comments like that about this of how this cover art is taking autonomy or taking women's autonomy or possession of their image and their beauty and their looks. And to me, that's just fucking crazy because this is a female who is willingly and happily doing this. I guess that's what I don't really understand about the outrage is like people are making it out like this is like, because even if a guy did this, I don't think this should be anything. But like people are making it out like this is like the most inhumane, disgusting, vile, degenerate, type of cover you could ever possibly put for, anything. And I mean, not really. Like, I mean, you look at the cover and it's like, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit, kind of risque, it's a little bit kind of out there, but it's not that bad. Like, I don't really see why people are so just fucking losing their mind about this. Like, it's it's just kind of out there. I mean, it definitely gets the attention. And I mean, also, controversy does breed for profit, breeds for more attention on whatever it is. So I mean, in a way, this is only going to help Sabrina Carpenter because more people are going to be aware of this album when it comes out just because of this whole controversy, assuming it's not just completely forgotten about by the time this comes out, because I think this album's coming out in August, so it has like 2 months before it gets released. But I don't know. I think this whole debate or whole, I guess, argument about sexualization of women and over sexualization of women, it's strange to me because on the one hand, you'll have the group of people that say that it's an issue, it's a problem, about the male gaze and sexual, degrading women to just being sex objects and things like that. But what I never understood about that was you'll hear, specifically, generally of the feminist, group, they'll say that, but then you'll have women themselves, like especially like all these Oscar events and Grammys and ceremonies, they'll dress in the most hyper overly sexual types of clothes. Like they'll dress in these dresses where like their breasts are pretty much just out there. Some of them will just show up with like damn near fucking nothing on. And it's like, I mean, I don't know, like what is like I don't know why there is like this over kind of emphasis of like we need to address like not I know that there is to some degree there can be problems. I know that there are some problems, but like I don't know why people will be just so strong on this point, but then you see like all these women, like in this case with Sabrina Carpenter with this album cover, like she did this because she wanted to, and she's come out and said pretty much like, yeah, fuck off, like I wanted to do this, like it's not a big deal. But like people are making it seem like, oh, but like you're doing this and it's gonna like it's gonna somehow damage women. And it's like no, like an album cover is the fucking last thing that's gonna hurt anybody. Like if you think whether Sabrina Carpenter has the most like uptight, not having any type of nudity, wrapped up in a fucking trench coat or some shit, or she's like in lingerie. Either one is not going to affect anybody. It's not going to hurt any person. It's not going to make the quality of any woman's life better or worse. It's not going to make any type of sexual harassment or over sexualization of anyone be better or worse. It's just going to be there. But I don't know, like to me, I just really don't get the whole outrage because like looking at the album cover, I mean, yeah, I guess it's a little bit out there. It's a little bit like I said, it's a little bit saucy. I'll say that, but I don't know, like the way people are talking about this is like she's like I don't know some like fucking explicit Pornhub BDSM position, like literally being like dog walk with like a collar and chain around her neck, just like walking on all fours or some shit. Like, no, it's nothing like that. I mean, I don't know. I really just have always been kind of perplexed by this type of outrage and by people who always kind of take this perspective of these types of things of like, when you have women especially doing this, it's like, well, I mean, why should anyone care? Like, if she's doing this, I don't know why anyone should be against it. Like, this is the album cover she wanted. She posed for it. She was in full agreement. It's not like she was forced or coerced or she was manipulated into making this, nefariously, explicit album cover to, to sell music. It's what she wanted to do. And I mean, also, like, I don't know, like it's just so fucking weird because years ago when WAP came out, people were cheering that because it was it was like liberating women sexually. But I'm like, that fucking video and that song is far more fucking explicit than this album cover, and it was the complete opposite reaction. People were in love with that. You had everyone cheering about, oh my god, this is revolutionary for women. It's taking their autonomy back. And it's giving women their sexual liberation, their sexual image back and stuff like that. It's like, but then you see this cover and people are like talking about how this is like setting women's rights back, women's rights back like fucking 60 years. Like I just don't understand. I just don't understand the public mindset on this. Like it just seems like the most schizophrenic at the moment type of mindset. Because like I'm sure there's been far more other, explicit, album covers that have been far worse than this. And I don't think there's probably any outrage. Like, I mean, Nicki Minaj, I mean, she's had some pretty, out there, album covers, Ice Spice, Megan Thee Stallion, plenty of, especially, young, rappers and just, musicians. Like, they have a lot of just explicit album covers because, sex and good looking people, guys and girls, they sell. People are going to be more likely to look at an album cover or be more, more drawn to it if they see, a fucking hot chick in a, lingerie outfit or some guy that's like ripped with like a 10 pack who looks like Michael B. Jordan or, Zac Efron or some shit, it sells, that's just how the market is. They do what they need to market, to get the most attention, the most, views to whatever they're trying to sell. This is how you do it. But it's just, I don't know, it's really weird how people just go back and forth between, like, on the one hand, like when females do things like, the WAP video, it's celebrated and cheered, but then Sabrina Carpenter does this album cover, which is far more tame than anything that's in the WAP video or even the song and even the cover art. And, she's being, dogpiled as if she's like, personally set women's rights back, to the fucking Stone Age or some shit. I just don't understand it. Like, I don't know. I just don't get it. Like, I really don't get this whole, talking points of, women, when women do these things that like they are somehow not in control of this when they are, And then other times they celebrate this where it's like, oh, it's great that women are being sexually explicit because like it's empowering them and taking ownership back of their bodies and their image. But then, you have other cases where they do that exact same thing and then they're demonized. And I just don't. I don't know. I just don't really get the general consensus on this topic because it just seems to go all over the place, and it seems so selective. Like again, like especially you'll hear like in Hollywood, about how there's the problem of over sexualizing women and how women are viewed as like sex objects and how we need to change that perception. But then you look at all these, Oscar, Grammy, Tony, Emmy shows, and all the women are, or most of them are dressed in the most fucking explicit, damn near naked types of outfits possible. Like they should be going in the fucking pose for Playboy or some shit. But then you'll have people turn around and say, like, we as a society need to change that. It's like, but the women themselves are doing that. They're not being forced to do that. That's what they want to wear. That's what they want to dress like. I don't know what the problem is if that's what they like to wear and that's what they like to dress in. I don't know what the problem is. Like to me, if that's how they, like to dress and their appearance, I don't know what the problem is. I don't know. I feel like this is just a very nothing controversy, which is kind of common nowadays. But it's just strange. I don't know because like just the amount of traction that this has gotten. Like people on the View were talking about it, and people on the mainstream media are talking about it, people online are talking about it. And they're just talking about this like it's just like the biggest fucking topic. Like, Sabrina Carpenter, like she holds like some type of mantle for like the entirety of women as a collective on the planet. And like her doing this is like damaged women's integrity and their, rights and their standing in the world. Like, all of a sudden, because this cover, this album cover came out, that like it's just gonna be the fall of women. They're gonna be in a fucking handsmaiden, society in the next few months. But I don't know. That's just my few cents on this little controversy. I just wanted to talk about it. It's mostly because of the comments I was reading. Because at first I saw the thing of the Sabrina Carpenter cover, and I was curious, so I looked at it and I was like, well, there's nothing big, nothing, not a big deal. Then like I started reading the comments of like people talking about like how this is a horrible take for Sabrina Carpenter to do. Like, she should be more responsible. Like, and how this is setting women's rights back, and how this is morally irresponsible for Sabrina Carpenter to degrade women like this. And I just, it's just so strange to me. It's just so strange how people just, I don't know, how they just flip flop back and forth on this specific topic. Because I'm willing to bet at some point there's going to be some female artist that releases a video that's going to be a very hyper sexualized, overly explicit video. And these same people that are demonizing Sabrina Carpenter's, album cover, not even the music, really, just the fucking cover, they're going to be cheering that video on, saying how revolutionary and brave and stunning, and how this is such a bold and empowering video. And it's like, yeah, but you didn't think that when fucking Sabrina Carpenter's album came out, however long ago. It's just strange to me. It's just fucking weird how the social climate on this shifts just fucking, it seems like every day almost. But yeah, that's all I got for this. Not much else to say about it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this here, and until next time, I'll see you then.